Peeling back the mask has captured the attention of Kenya, with the controversial former Prime Minister's advisor Miguna Miguna attracting both hate and admiration. Unofficial estimates say as many as 20,000 copies have been sold.
Why has it sold that much? Look at the attempts he's made to actually publicize it. Quite huge. I think that if you could sell, if writers, one or two writers could sell even up to 10,000 copies in 6 months to a year, that's pretty good enough.
Updated figures are hard to come by, but by some estimates, the publishing industry sells books worth 3 billion shillings a year, mainly textbooks.
Kenyans actually read for exams. If you walk into our Kenyan National Library, you'll see most of our Kenyans go. If you do a survey, you will not find a person with a novel reading, but actually they are reading for exams. So Kenyans are not very aggressive, very avid readers. They only read for the magazines and the newspapers.
Martin Jaga is a published author and general manager of Story Moja Africa Publishers. I asked him what it costs to publish an average book.
What a publisher will do is once we receive a manuscript, we will make a decision very quickly as to how sellable is this book, and that's a decision that is informed by a lot of things. We will look at what are people currently buying, and the story itself. Is this something that we think Kenyans would want to read, or the East Africans would want to read?
This bookshop has been here for all of 25 years. Publishers and many Kenyans alike argue that there is no reading culture in Kenya beyond educational books. But Chan, who owns the place, says the growth over those 25 years is the surest indication yet that is not true, and it remains a profitable business.
Before you launch the book, on the day you launch the book, you make sure that we have stacks of them everywhere. People run around like rats looking for these books, and you don't even know. They're slow in marketing. I'm not criticizing them, but I'm giving you a fact. They have to get up and go out and market their books. They have to take books to the people, not wait for people to come to them.
Kenya has over 100 registered publishers. One of them is Kwani, a donor-funded publisher of contemporary and sometimes provocative literature. Billy Kahora, who runs it, is himself a published author.
Publishing requires, it's like an assembly line. It's almost like fixing a car. It's not about the text only. It's many other things. How do you design the cover? How do you market the book? Who are you marketing the book to? How are you making sure that this book that you produce is talking to those people? So the easier it is for you to get whatever text you're producing or whatever material you're producing to those people also counts for a huge thing. So there's clear evidence that there's specific things that people actually read, or there's media that people consume. And it seems to be media that is of direct interest to their lives. It just seems the material in text doesn't do that. It doesn't follow that criteria.
Despite a relatively thin percentage of Kenyans who read for leisure, those who actually do appear to be very passionate book lovers.
What has actually evolved in Kenya is that kids read to study as opposed to reading for pleasure, but there is a reading culture. And when I remember how big this bookstore was when they started, it was a small little slither of a room, and now it's really big. So there is a reading culture.
To read, you need to have your mind in the book. It's the only way you'll be able to, get the picture and get what the writer is trying to say. You'll imagine things in your head, and that's the beauty of reading.
Most Kenyan publishers will not touch non-educational manuscripts because they're seen to have little commercial sense. One of the new avenues for self-publishing is on the internet.
It is not easy to publish a book in Kenya, especially if your genre is fiction and you're targeting adults. I decided to take the online publishing route, to publish my own content, and also to publish other writers like myself who are up and coming, because these forums and platforms like mine do not exist.
Wamadai believes that his 500,000 hits a month on his website are an indication that the market does exist for leisure reading, and publishers may just be ignoring it or are not willing to take a chance.
People are actually reading. I think that the notion that people don't read is perpetuated by those that don't want to publish books, or maybe those that don't read.
Which way Kenyan publishing?